Hey, everybody. This is the Mount Rushmore podcast, and this is the podcast where we debate, deliberate the Mount Rushmore of any given topic, and the folks who do it are Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
And your host, Jeff. And this week's topic is the Mount Rushmore of foods that you would consume at least 1 year after their expiration date. Michael thought of this. What does this mean?
I know exactly where I was when I thought of this. It was maybe December or so, a couple years ago.
Fruitcake season.
Fruitcake season. And I was in line at a CVS, and I still saw like a bag of Halloween chocolate that was just out. And it was like, man, they're really trying to... Well, it's on sale.
Yeah.
It's October, November, December? It's only 2 months.
Yeah.
And I thought, how far would I push this? I might as well buy the bag and as I'm here in line and keep going with the rest of my CVS purchases.
Yeah.
But I think that there are just foods that we as humans are like, they put that date on there. They
don't believe that.
They don't mean it. But on the other hand, if it is within a day of getting to milk being expired, I'm like, I do not trust you.
Yeah.
It says sell by 9/28. Today is the 27th, and I'm like, it's been open. Like, I
Can't do it.
It's got a quarter of the thing left. I'll just dump and get a new one. I just don't trust that. Milk-based things. I'm like,
Yeah.
There are no milk-based things on my list.
but anyway, that's where I was. I was like CVSing it up, and I was
Okay.
like, that's sketchy, but maybe, maybe.
Cool. Okay.
See what Richard would do.
All right. Let's see what Richard did with. He's going first.
All right, so my first choice, beef jerky.
Ah.
Because literally,
Yeah, you're there anyway.
what could happen to it?
Yeah.
Is it going to become
It's
more
just jerky.
gonna get
It's
drier.
just
more
jerky.
jerky-like?
Yeah.
Drier? Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't get fresh by accident. Oh, no. This got hydrated. Now it's just actual beef. Yeah, nuts.
I mean, how many foods do you have to have something to keep it from, they have the little silica packet, which, by the way, when I was a kid, it used to scare the hell out of me that I would accidentally eat the silica.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
Like I would be just idly eating beef
munching
jerky,
along.
and next thing you know, I'd like desiccate to death.
You're just munching along at a new television set in a box, and you eat through the foam, you eat through the silica packet.
And next thing you know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. What's going to, you're going to get accidentally rehydrated. I don't know what could possibly.
It turns into a Batman the movie.
Yeah, with all
with a dehydrator and rehydrator machine.
Yeah, all the
UN world leaders.
The UN world leaders, and they're just different colors of aquarium sand. I think is what they were.
Because literally, you're just making beef jerky is literally taking meat and aging, and I know that there's more steps involved in that. But
I'm surprised that there is an expiration date on there.
I guess it goes white at some point, but just eat around that.
I've seen some chalky jerky.
I think the white's probably okay. It's probably like
turns into baseball card gum.
Yeah. But I think a year you'd probably still be okay. I feel like within a year. I think maybe that's what the silica gel or the packs do.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks all the mold and everything off of it.
We've been looking for a sponsor, and I think Jack Links is going to sell us a case or send us a case of expired jerky.
I would take that in a heartbeat. Deal. Done.
What is it because the nature of the jerking process involves smoking, brining,
a lot
dehydrating.
of brining in the jerking process. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I guess there is a lot of not chemical. Well, there's probably some chemicals involved, but a lot of like chemical processes that are involved. Even if they're natural, it's still chemical processes.
Would you apply the same sort of indifference to the date if it was like a roadside beef jerky stand that you were driving on, like they had fresh strawberries and they had...
It's not sealed in a...
Yeah, and there was just like, they also have jerky here. And then you put it in a bag and put it in your glove compartment and say a year later, you're like, hey, last year we were driving through the farmlands and I got this beef jerky. I forgot about it. Would you still go for it?
I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would. Mm-hmm. I think I'd be more hesitant.
Yeah.
But ultimately I think I would think about it, hesitate, and then
think about the status of like the crowns in your teeth.
Yeah.
And then go,
Yeah.
Do I need to?
What's the worst that could happen?
Jerky shards.
Yeah.
Do you think
I wouldn't do it with turkey jerky, though.
Oh.
I wouldn't trust turkey jerky. I feel like turkey jerky could still go bad. And I have no reason for this. I have no rational idea why. I just feel like turkey jerky, there's a moistness factor to it that I feel like
would you give to your kids?
Haywire.
Would you give to your wife or kids?
What, turkey jerky?
No, that's this
year-old
jerky.
Beef jerky.
Oh, I thought you said, what did you give to your kids? I was like, did I give them turkey jerky for Christmas? I might have. I'm a pretty good dad. Actually, you know what? Santa does bring me a little meat stick thing every year.
That's part of that 13 Days of Christmas song.
It really
on
is.
On the 13th day.
Would I don't know. Probably not. Well,
would you give it to an aging relative?
Yes.
Okay.
If it was getting near their time.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. All right, Michael, what's your first choice?
I don't know if this is just a case of the entertainment world having convinced me otherwise, but a Twinkie.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, because of society and because of all of like the mocking of Twinkies being able to survive and hundreds of years or whatever, my mind is totally convinced that if there was a Twinkie that was a few years old, like it's still in the packaging, I would be like, you know what? I've watched TV my entire life and couldn't have lied to me that much.
Yeah.
I believe you, movies that I've seen. I believe you, entertainment.
Yeah.
I will try this Twinkie. Even though it goes against what I first said, which is the whole cream thing. But I don't know how much is
it's fake.
Cream in that cream
By the
filled.
way, that's fake.
Wait, what?
That the Twinkies won't go bad.
What?
They actually only last about 30 days.
No.
This is about how you feel about it,
40
right?
days.
So do you feel, based on seems like we've name-checked Wally in each episode recently, so doesn't...
Running theme, it seems.
Does the insect live in a Twinkie in that...
That sounds familiar.
Doesn't Wally have some Twinkies or something?
Yeah. And
they're still good?
Yeah.
Do you feel like your choices are experiential? I have at times accidentally drunk or tasted sour milk, so I fear milk. I've never had a bad Twinkie, and so I do not fear the Twinkie, like you.
Maybe. I don't eat a whole lot of Twinkies, to be honest. But I feel like their branding they've just done a good job of branding it as this invincible food.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about bomb shelters recently. Stock it up full of can of beans, whatever.
Yeah.
Load it up with Twinkies.
Can you imagine? You're in a bomb shelter, you've been eating Twinkies for 5 years. You don't even want to live anymore.
They can't get you out of there.
Yeah, that'd be the problem number one. There's no way, you can get him through the
There's this
circular door.
Yeah,
with
this hatch that I got in when I was 175 pounds, and now I'm 420 and can't get out of here.
Help me out. Get the jaws of life.
No, I think it is entirely just built on the entertainment world has convinced me that this thing is impossible to defeat.
I had that on my list at first, and then I decided to look
you
this
did
up.
A little bit of research?
Did a little research, and it was like, nope. At least according to Big Twinkie. Hostess or whoever
there
makes
you go.
it now.
See, that's
that type of thing they'd want you to believe.
They want you to think so you can eat it. So you see the expiration date, and they're like, oh, I better eat this before it expires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Those Hostess mascots did not fare well with time. There was Twinkie the Kid, King Ding Dong.
King Ding Dong.
Wasn't there...
Was the Cupcake King or something like that? No, what was the Cupcake
There
one?
can't be two kings.
Different... Right. This was the...
They were the Great Pastry Wars of 2027.
George R.R. Martin finally spills on the inspiration for Game of Thrones. Winterfell was the cupcake.
It was the snowballs.
The snowballs.
Winterfell up north.
Oh my god!
What are the red ones? What are the red raspberry ones that are like snowballs?
Yeah.
Captain Cupcake.
Captain Cupcake. Oh, he's a sailing man.
He was a sailing man, man of the seas. He appeared in one, according to Wikipedia, appeared in one TV commercial for Hostess when he and two children were trapped in a villain's dungeon, but were rescued by Twinkie the Kid.
Oh, wow. Well, some captain you are.
Then there's the fruit pie magician. Remember that? Remember the fruit pies?
None of these have fared well in time. If you called me any of these things, I would crumble.
You're a fruit pie magician.
The next time, Jeff, you're on
not
stage,
wrong.
you're like hosting one of the summer concert series that you do every year. And I'm just next time, Felix will be old enough, I'm going to go out there. You fruit pie magician, get off the stage! What are you drinking again? Captain Cupcake, get out of here!
King Ding Dong, and lawful heir to the throne of Ding Dong. Okay, sorry.
Off the rails today.
Okay. Richard, what's
all of this expired food that we're eating is affecting our brains.
that was nothing. There is nothing more than I loved as a kid. It was for my dad to take me to the Hostess. There's the bakery thrift store. Have you seen it? There's one on San Fernando.
Yeah, I know what
It
you're
was
talking
the stuff
about.
that was.
Like the Intamans.
It was the only expired food store because stuff would come off the shelf and it would go to this place and it had like a day and a half where you could go in there and maybe not die. But to get me a Hostess apple pie, the fruit pies,
Wizard pie.
the fruit pies.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was some good stuff.
Do you remember the big wheels from Hostess?
Oh, the spirals once you cut 'em?
They almost look like a ding dong, but they weren't chocolate covered.
Let me see.
No, their mascot was Chief Big Wheels.
Oh wow,
Which was an anthropomorphic big like pastry with like a feather hat thing.
I love it because
Bad look and a tomahawk.
It does have like some Scooby Doo type of lettering around it, so those seems like a very late '60s,
Yeah,
'70s
for
thing.
sure.
Richard, what's your second?
Literally any spice.
Okay, you know what? Dried spices are on my list too.
Okay.
High five there, buddy.
Can I have a Spice Girls sing along right here?
I guarantee you, if I went to maybe not yours because you don't cook,
Mm-hmm.
but if I went to Michael's or mine kitchens and we looked
Yeah.
in our spice drawers, 95% of our spices are a year past.
Oh, you
Yeah,
think
there's
so?
oregano from 2013.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
For sure.
I've
Oh.
got pumpkin spice that's probably
We
10 years old.
We have like an allspice that we've used for one thing that we're like, oh, we need this one thing. Gotta go spend $6.99 for
Yeah.
the thing to make this one dish, and
Well,
then
that's how
never
they get you.
and never made the dish again.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how big spice
Big spice.
is
Yeah.
taking you down.
Yep.
Because, and that's why I think that's the only reason these things that spice has an expiration date. I don't think it has anything to do with flavor or health or anything like that. I just think the big spice realized that when you're spending $10 on a giant bottle of cumin, when you really only need a tablespoon for one specific meal,
Yeah,
that otherwise you will never buy another bottle of cumin again.
right there with you.
But if you may put an expiration date on it, well, it's expired. I guess I better buy a new giant bottle of it and spend another $10.
Oh,
Here you go.
Yeah.
You get some carrots, baby carrots, cut them up, like halve them. Mm-hmm. Douse them in olive oil and cumin. Mm-hmm. A little salt. Put them in the oven. Roast them.
throw them away.
Cumin carrots
Pull them out.
are incredible.
I will try that out.
Get that old bottle of cumin and use it up on some cumin carrots. No, I think spices are like this. It's like expired medication. It doesn't go bad. You just need to use a little bit more of it to get back to that level.
Yeah, if you're supposed to use a tablespoon, use a tablespoon and a half.
Yeah, I think it's just a potency thing.
Oh,
It's just like, hey, we're kind of drying up a little bit, but old people aren't useless. They still have their uses.
you're that old.
They
people.
could still be greeters at Walmart or whatever.
You just have two old people doing the same job as one.
One and a half.
Yeah.
Do you think at my house it was by the time it's been a year, by the time the expiration comes around, that's about the time it took for bugs to get in it. And so that's probably why it was a good reason to throw it away because there's probably a dead ant in there.
What?
Did you grow up with like a larder?
Yeah.
Did you have to bury food under the ground during the
Do you have an
winter?
ice box or something?
It was where we hid during the tornadoes too. Yep. We did. I don't know. I don't even know the difference between different spices, so I can't
Just like putting allspice on instead of like
I got a
paprika.
can of I got a
He's
thing of
putting
like
Old Spice on, and then it's getting really weird.
I've got a thing of like meat spice stuff that just lives on the grill out there. There's probably all kinds of bugs and like bug larvae and stuff
Yeah.
in
Well,
there.
it gives you extra flavor.
Yeah, extra
It's
flavor.
Fine. And a little protein in there. It's
Okay, so
fine.
did you both pick spices?
Yeah.
All right.
Old Bay can go to hell, right?
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
that is.
Old Bay.
Or bay leaves.
Get out of here.
Something needs a bay leaf. You know what? Nothing needs a bay leaf.
Okay, then it's Michael. No, it's halftime, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Halftime, guys, go grab a beer. Go stretch your legs around. Go look at the overpriced hats and T-shirts and things. Go look at the stuff that they brought in from the Grapefruit League that they're trying to unload on you. And while you're doing that, look at your phone.
Grapefruit Relief reference in a big spot right there.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Stepping up to the plate.
Every once in a while.
Another baseball reference.
That's the hat I bought last time I was at an Angels game. It was something that they brought in from the Grapefruit League. Big floppy hat for gardening. So this is the time when you go to your iPhone and Android and you go look at your Mount Rushmore podcast thing and you say, I want to rate it. And you click on the 5 stars. And then you say, I want to give it a review. And it pops up. And then it gets weird and you have to log in and all that kind of stuff. But then you give us a great review because we would love for like-minded people who are brilliant like you who found our podcast to find other like-minded people who will like the podcast. I don't think that made sense. And if you don't think that makes sense, wait till you listen to this promo.
Do you like great music? Do you like in-depth podcasts? Do you like the idea of putting great music under the microscope? If you answered yes, no, or fish to any of these questions, Love That Album is the show for you. Every month, Morris and a fellow music fanatic discuss a particular album in detail. They'll cover the performer, the history behind the recording, the musicianship, common thematic elements between the songs, and how many drugs were consumed during its creation. Well, maybe not so much of the last bit. So if you want to hear a podcast bringing perspective to great rock, jazz, folk, punk, and sea shanty music, then subscribe to Love That Album podcast at Apple Podcasts or download directly from lovethatalbum.blogspot.com.
Okay, I don't get that. And there is an opportunity for you to help us, and that is by going to the Facebook page for Mount Rushmore Podcast. It hasn't expired. It's still there, and we have lots of interesting conversations with our fans on it. People suggest new topics. They suggest answers to certain topics that we didn't consider, and then that's the same for the Twitter and the Instagram.
Yeah, every once in a while, someone gets really angry about our choices.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you totally missed on this, and this is the correct ones.
Yeah.
I welcome that feedback. I don't enjoy it.
No, it's hurtful because we just
It's really painful.
we do this for adoration.
Yeah.
And we don't get that. No. So when we get criticism...
I respect their choices, but I hate them.
Yeah, I hate them.
Hate the people that write them.
Yep.
I mean, but please do it, right?
Yeah. Be honest, but just only if you're going to be nice.
Okay, so for some more of the Mount Rushmore of foods that you would consume at least 1 year after the expiration date, it is who? And it's Michael.
Nuts. All of them.
All of them?
Whoa.
Every nuts.
Whoa.
That's in like a jar, and it's like a year past.
Peanut, macadamia nut.
What?
Naming nuts.
Pine nuts, name of a town, also name of a nut.
Is it?
White, all white macadamia nut. Perfect movie. Could watch that anytime.
What do you got against nuts, homie?
Nothing. That's why I would chomp
Is
down
it
on some
a
nuts.
concern? Oh, okay. Do you have a
No,
concern?
I'm for. Like,
He's pro nuts.
I'm pro expired nuts. I
Okay.
don't think that there is a hard out on nuts. I don't think you see the expiration date and you're like, no
Yeah.
way, man. I will not eat these cashews. Cashews are kind of chewy anyway. So like,
Man, I think these almonds have turned.
yeah. Whatever. Like those are the things we use. Like we use a lot of pine nuts in one of the dishes we make, and I don't know how long they've been in there. We'll just keep using them. What are they gonna do? We're just gonna toast them. They're just gonna get kind of crunchy anyway. Same thing with peanuts. They're all just gonna. It's fine. The worst thing you can do is mash it up into a paste, and then
Or the jerky might seem like it might have dried beyond its correct texture. It seems like nuts might have absorbed moisture. Is that a concern?
Well, that's why I store my jerky
next to your nuts.
Just a giant thing. And
Yeah,
like you used to do with your soda and your beer inside of it. I do it with jerky and just surround it with a thing of Planters peanuts.
Then you get like jerky flavored nuts, and
that sounds pretty good,
right? You're in. I don't know. I don't. Every once in a while, Jeff, you'll bring out like a big like bowl full of nuts and we'll eat them around the table here. And I don't really. I know that I will already get like mouthy. I will already get like just seeing a bowl of nuts. I always feel like I don't want that while we're talking, because then I'll just be like, oh.
Yeah.
But like ordinarily, man, bring them on.
So yeah, thanks for bringing those out, Jeff. Thanks a lot.
But I think nuts age well. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. Listen, I haven't done a whole lot of this.
Is there a nut
I
in
feel
particular?
like I feel like I could get in.
What about a filbert?
I don't know him. Is he coming on the podcast?
What about a cashew? What about
cashews? Seem okay. I think cashews already
a Brazil nut or macadamia. All of them. Is it all nuts, or is it just peanuts? Because I feel like peanuts, I've never seen one go bad.
I heard the other day that a coconut is part bean or is part nut. It could be considered a legume.
Really?
It can be considered a nut and something and a fruit. Huh. It's like a weird trifecta of you can throw it into a bunch of different categories.
Wow.
I don't know if I do that, because I know the
Hawaiian food pyramid is really weird.
Macadamia nut.
It's actually a volcano.
It's a volcano.
Macadamia nut. It's coconuts. It's whatever Hawaiian coffee is.
Yeah, it's something called poo-poo, which is, I don't know what that is. Yeah.
But I did some research here while you were talking, and apparently they can go bad.
You choked up. Oh, man.
Yeah, I got some peanuts stuck in my throat. Apparently the ones, especially if they're the fattier they are, they can go rancid because of the fat.
Oh.
But you're probably okay. It sounds like bullshit to me.
Sounds like Big Nuts and teaming up with Big Spice and what was the other one? It was
Big Twinkie,
Big Jerky,
Big
Jerky, Big Spice, Big Twinkie, and Big Nuts. They're all trying to get us.
Yep.
These nuts are going bad.
I don't know why that made me laugh so hard.
Snoop Dogg is
Bottom of the
the
barrel
head of...
jokes brought to us by
I'm so
These
sorry,
Nuts.
guys. I've been trying to... Their big press release. These nuts have gone bad. Sorry, guys. Okay. I marked that for deletion.
Recalled.
These nuts have been... Which nuts? These nuts.
Okay, my third one is pasta.
Whoa.
Because...
Yeah.
I understand where you're going.
What's really going to happen to it other than maybe it's not quite as flavorful? But you know
just
what?
add extra pasta.
But
bring it back.
But unless you're Michael and you're just eating it with butter, as we discussed last week, you're just drowning it with pasta sauce anyway, or some sort of sauce.
Yeah.
That's fine. Basically, the pasta is just there as a
it's been partially
delivery ingredient.
It's been partially cooked anyway. It's effectively already cooked.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's pre-cooked, and it's just a delivery mechanism for the sauce anyway, or whatever, if you have meat on it or whatever.
Do you ever get
fine. As an Italian, I'll tell you.
The stuff that's in the refrigerator section? There's sometimes this fresh pasta stuff that's in the refrigerator section.
Yeah, that's the stuff I talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. The buttered noodles was like, I like the fresh for whatever reason.
Okay.
That when I go for it, it's just like, that's the one I want. I want the ones that are like par cooked or like wiggly in the little thing. It just takes 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with those. I wouldn't mess with those. But like your regular dry pasta.
With dried pasta. Yeah.
Like a thing of spaghetti.
Yeah.
I used to eat spaghetti uncooked. That's a little weird, right?
You just
in water?
No,
you're like Frank from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You take the noodles, the hard noodles, and you just make it in your mouth. You just let it sit in your mouth.
Let it stew for a little bit. No, you just kind of gnaw it like it's
it's Olive Garden in your mouth.
Like you're a hick or something, and you've got like a
straw.
A straw in your mouth. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what you do with the spaghetti strand.
How the fuck did this work for you? Because it's always, even if it's not al dente, if it's like less than, it kind of sits in my molar.
It's al dental.
Al dental.
Well, the thing is, I didn't floss as a kid.
Oh.
So you just use that as like a real sharp pick.
Wow.
And I don't know. Mm-hmm. But no, I remember doing that. My mom would be making spaghetti. I'd go in there and like steal a little strand of spaghetti.
I can imagine the Lady in the Tramp pasta scene done with the uncooked spaghetti.
The dogs died. Boy, we're getting way off the rails on this episode, aren't we?
Michael, what do you got?
My last choice is the Cadbury Creme Egg.
Oh,
no.
yay.
And
No.
the cacophonies of no's and yays at the same time. Richard knows my love for these Cadbury Creme Eggs. And chocolate is weird. I admit it. Chocolate is strange when it gets chalky and too old. I think there's something about that weird sugary cream filling that keeps it moist from the inside.
Yeah.
That it's in there, it's stuck, it's not coming out, unless you get a bad one where it's like leaking.
Yeah.
And it's getting weird. But I'll
You'll eat them anytime.
I'll eat them anytime.
Yeah,
if I just found one we have like a chocolate drawer at our home that just has like, little those little Dove chocolates, or like we'll get chocolates for like Christmas and stuff, or like Valentine's Day. We just have a chocolate drawer that Emily and I will dip into and just like, just want a piece of chocolate. And
so
sometimes
adorable.
every once in a while, it's like 6-8 months later after Christmas, it's like, there's a Cadbury Creme Egg in here. Yes.
Well, first off, you're wrong. They're kind of gross.
Oh.
Secondly, I remember you and Doug, our friend Doug Jennings, having a Cadbury Creme Egg eating. I wouldn't even call it a contest.
No, we went
Exhibition.
It was an exhibition.
We went at it with gentleman's rules,
Yes.
which is you're not eating for speed, you're eating for the enjoyment of the Cadbury Creme Egg, which is let's see how many you can eat. We're going to take our time. We're not like bent by the rules of like, oh, you can't have a sip of water, or you're just like, man, we're just
What are the
toasting-
international rules of consumption of...
We're just toasting cream eggs and just having, I don't know, 9 of them, 13 of them.
A dozen.
Then you start like, the best part is when you start like seeing through time. You're just sitting there, you're just staring off, and people are talking to you, and they all sound like Charlie Brown adults.
I've gone past diabetic into triabetic somehow. Is that
Or
even
Dianetic.
a thing? Dianetic.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
can see Albert talking.
You're there with the Thetans, and you're just like, yeah.
Wow.
I've had
Are
way
you-
too much.
I remember, I think it must have been the season after that. We had some sort of like larger, the Easter after that. We had some sort of larger studio wide. It was opened up to the group.
Well,
I had like,
yeah, the problem is that people wanted to make a sport of it, and we were just trying to have our leisurely. It's like playing croquet.
Yeah.
We just wanted to walk around the backyard eating Cadbury Creme Eggs, and then people were like, well, I can eat more than you. It's like,
you probably can.
probably can. That's not the point. I still want to eat 9 of them.
I had 3, and I felt like my teeth had actually like not just rotted out of my mouth.
They
but
start
somehow
vibrating.
Had like
Yes.
exploded like the Challenger or something.
I think-
it just
If you look at the Cadbury thing, it's actually the symbol for copper is on the side because it's mostly copper.
Molten
That's why it
copper.
tastes like when you eat a penny or you put a penny in your mouth.
I think there is just ultimately, my last point is that there is a challenge to it, is that sometimes you can, get a bad egg where like the cream filling is kind of like, because they're only wrapped in like a tiny thing of foil.
right.
It's not like they're like encased in plastic and shrink wrapped or like heat sealed or anything. They're the most flimsily packaged
Yeah.
available to the air sort of thing. And like every once in a while, like the cream will kind of like find
Leak
its
out.
way out, and you're just like, oh wow.
Apparently, I did some research on this one too. Apparently, when chocolate can go white when it goes bad after a while, that's okay. You can still eat it. It's not like mold or anything. It's just I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Whatever the
chocolate
oxidization
Starburst or
is.
something like that. It's just exactly. It's like oxidizing, but it's not actually chocolate starburst or something like.
Maybe that's Big Chocolate putting that in there so that you won't eat
Trying
it.
to freak you out.
Oh,
yeah.
that's actually how they make white chocolate. They don't even.
It's been aged
Not telling
for at
us
least a
that.
year, yeah.
That's funny.
Underground in a cave somewhere in southern France. Right there with camembert cheese. That's where you get white chocolate.
Okay, guys. Richard, you got to wrap it up.
Hot Pockets.
Whoa, really?
Guarantee you, these damn things are so packed full of chemicals and preservatives. You could probably go 100 years past the expiration date.
I think it's at a
You'd
Pop-Tart,
be
but not a Hot
fine.
Pocket.
Oh yeah, there's so many chemicals in that, and I don't
In its
believe
frozen state, in its
It's-
like rock hard frozen
it's
state.
frozen.
Okay.
And I don't.
That's interesting. None of us have brought up like frozen things.
Frozen novelty.
Right.
Things
Yeah.
that, okay, anyway.
So I think because it's frozen, and I don't buy that there's anything natural in a Hot Pocket.
I think
I feel the same way about those little, by the way, I vacillated between that and the mini pizzas, like the Totino's or the Mama Celeste. Because for the same reason. I don't think there's anything natural in that whatsoever. Kind of like the Twinkie.
Another measure of safety is Hot Pockets instantly cauterize the roof of your mouth.
That's true.
Protecting you from...
They burn them, first off. They burn the roof of your mouth, but then also cauterize them at the same time.
You can't get sick from them because it won't penetrate.
That's true. As it goes down your throat, it leaves like a trail of like hot heat and slime and cauterization that just sort of just like it inures you to the bacteria.
Yeah. I don't think I've had a Hot Pocket.
Ever?
No, I don't think I've ever had one.
I would have thought. I know last week you were talking.
I have
about
a physique that looks like I have.
You are a
yeah.
You're a Hot Pocket. Yeah. Last week you were talking about the comfort foods of being at your high school cafe or your school cafeteria.
Yeah.
That for me is the only place I had Hot Pockets.
Oh,
is they would sell over lunch or not even lunch, over like snack recess or whatever we called it in high school. I know it wasn't snack recess. It was, early break or whatever they called it. The ASB would sell Hot Pockets out of the cafeteria.
I love that in Asian countries they're studying and doing like Tai Chi and exercises. Here in America, snack recess.
Snack recess. You got to get those Hot Pockets in. Make sure you last the next 2 hours until lunch.
I need a break from learning to eat food.
So that's the only place I associate Hot Pockets with high school cafeterias.
Oh wow!
So that's strange to me that you didn't have.
What
did you have in your cafeteria?
I was thinking my grade school cafeteria. So this was 1974.
They probably hadn't invented Hot Pockets yet.
And if so, it wouldn't have been in the budget. I don't think.
Hot Pocket technology. Technology. It was not hot yet.
They were
lukewarm at best.
These new tater tots were things that they were still confused by. The fanciest thing we got was, and the closest to Hot Pocket was a fritter. They didn't even say it's like beef fritter. It was just called fritter. Like, so you didn't know, was it pork? Was it
critter?
Was it critter fritter? Was it possum? Was it raccoon?
Michael, what's your take on Hot Pockets? You ever had one?
I've had them, but I don't think they ever really caught on with me. It was like never something that we bought and kept on hand. I think it's like one of those things that maybe like a college roommate had around and like
maybe you had one on occasion.
Yeah, but I never.
The McDonald's fruit pie is the closest I've had to the Hot Pocket.
Also, will
never had one of those.
Huh? Interesting.
But yeah, I don't have I just don't have I'm trying to think of I don't know if I would be tempted. I think the things that turn me off, meats. I mean, I know you had the dried beef and your beef jerky, and that seems like I understand that. But just having a regular meat in there,
it's already been cooked because it's meant to be microwaved.
Yeah,
I don't think
I got to think about it, but I don't. It's
I wouldn't go with a bean and cheese burrito. That would be out.
Yeah,
one of those ones you get at 7-Eleven. Although I'm sure all the ones at 7-Eleven are a year past their expiration date when they're sold. I think it's for me. It's just the lack of natural food product. I mean, you look at the label on there, and it's all like Cuda made in 26.
Big chemical.
Big chemicals really getting into that one.
Okay. All right, guys. Real quick. Anything you wouldn't eat 1 minute past, or anything you would eat before it's even done, like cookie dough or something like that. Before it's even.
I'm leery about eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Leery about eggs. And any dairy. I mean, let's face it. Cheese, I'm probably okay with, as long as it doesn't have mold.
Do you know what's always?
It.
Yeah, you know what's distressing to me every time. Every time this is distressing. Get a new thing, like a new package of sour cream, a little 8-ounce thing of sour cream, and you use it for whatever, 2 tablespoons for a thing, put it back in the fridge. The next day, you're like, I'm going to put it on something else. And then you see that pool of
sweat,
of liquid, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I know this is fine, but I'm so turned off. I hate this now.
Yes.
I don't want to reconstitute it. I hate that you separate, and I'm so mad at you, sour cream. That's where you got to buy the tube, the little squeezy things. EY turned us on to that.
That's a good move.
But we always forget, and then it ends up at the back of the fridge, and then it's expired, and then it's like, I don't want to do that.
If we're talking non-dairy, honey would be concerning to me.
Really?
I feel like honey could go really wrong.
I've heard honey is like one of these foods that will stay perfect forever.
Oh,
actually.
really?
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like they've found it in hives that have been abandoned in the walls of a barn or something like that, and it's so much sugar and stuff in there
that makes sense. I think for me, I just thought that I think it would go non-honey, it would reconstitute or something, or go
turn into bees.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, is this
Trying to put it on your
is
toast?
honey expired, guys?
Toast is stinging me.
Hey, is this
Scraping the
expired?
roof of my mouth, and it's stinging.
My oatmeal is buzzing. All right, guys. This has been the Mount Rushmore of foods that you would eat past their expiration date, and I'm going to pick some of the most compelling arguments. One, because it made my teeth tingle, Cadbury cream egg. Then, because it was just it led to a good conversation about spokes mascots that have expired as well, Twinkie, and then I would have to say pasta, because I think that's interesting.
That's pretty universal.
And then we got started with beef jerky, and that was a lot of fun. These have now been etched into the side of Mount Rushmore. The legacy.
By a piece of hard beef jerky.
A piece of hard beef jerky.
The good thing about like a good spaghetti or like fettuccine, you could store it in the same kind of tube, container on your thing with the beef jerky.
Oh, yeah.
You just grab that out of the same, just keep it in the same tube container, throw that in the pot, boom.
Yeah. When the bombs
you got your
start flying.
bolognese going right there.
Flying.
It's a starting point.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. This has been the Mount Rushmore Podcast. I'm Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.